I call myself Latina in part because have known since I was in college 20 years ago that Hispanic is a word that really refers to Iberia, it refers to Spain, it refers to Portugal, and it does not refer to the many heritages that we have as people from Latin America, in particular indigenous heritage, in particular African heritage. Some of us are Jews, some of us are Chinese. And the word Latino was first used in the United States by Puerto Ricans and Cubans in New York in order to distinguish themselves from Italians. And to distinguish themselves in particular from Spaniards, because there were still a lot of Spanish cigar makers, there were Spaniards in New York, and both of these communities were obviously very devoted to their independence struggles against Spain, or to, in fact, the whole notion that they were not at all Spanish, that they were themselves and very unique in their histories and their language and their culture. So Latino was first used in the 1920s by those two groups. I'm Cuban, and I very much support the notion that we should be inclusive of our Latin American heritage and not simply, ascribe to being from Spain. I think that Hispanic, again, is a word that connotes Spain. It whitens us just automatically, because Spain is not a place known for, huge African populations, right? The African population that they have today is one that is a legacy of the last 20 years. It certainly is not, a part of the Spanish cultural or historical, heritage. So I do think that it's a matter of education, and it's a matter of understanding that those of us who may be, in fact, all white or all Spanish do our communities a disservice by setting up a standard that most of us do not fulfill. A standard that is racial and that is ethnic and that implies something of Europe and not something of Latin America, of indigenous background, and of Africa.